What is going on, guys? We're going to take a look at wrestler likeness. We're just going to look at a few of them. We obviously ain't going to look at all of them. There's just too many in the game. I'm not doing that. That would take an eternity. We're not going to make a 2-hour video or nothing like that. But anyway, here you got your AJ Styles. Let's take a look at him here. That definitely looks like him. Yeah, that looks just like AJ Styles for sure. I still think the hair texture in this game is just not quite there. I mean, when I look at games like FIFA, the newer FIFA games, those games look good from the standpoint of the hair texture and stuff. They're not quite there. They are the short hair styles in this game, you know, are hitting pretty good, but the longer hairstyles, it kind of has a plastic look to it. It's not really a problem. I'm not complaining about it. It works for the game, but you know, let's take a look at somebody else. Take a look at Andre Giant. I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys are just cut and paste from 2K22, which there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you would do that because there's no updated version of Andre the Giant. I mean, he's long gone, right? It ain't like there's a newer look for him or nothing. So obviously, you would just cut and paste Andre the Giant. You know, massive guy. It looks good enough. I feel like something, I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like something is just different about his face from the standpoint of the real Andre the Giant. I can't really say. I'd have to look at see, there's that picture. The angle, he's kind of leaning his head back, so it's not really a fair angle to compare to. But, you know, it definitely looks good enough. I'm not trash talking it or nothing like that. It definitely works. I mean, this Bobby Lashley looks real. Let's take a look at his. Yeah, he looks real. Does he have a tattoo on his face? What is on the side of this guy's head, man? Oh, it's some type of scarring or something like that. Okay, yeah, he really does have that. They really scan these guys for real, man. I mean, look at this detail. This is crazy. Even got the bald head with every little spot that's on him is on here. Bobby Lashley is one of those guys that are actually jacked for real, for real. You know, some of these wrestlers, their builds are exaggerated, of course. Bobby Lashley is one of them guys that he actually lives up to it because he's a very muscular, very jacked dude. So I can't really say that, you know, they're exaggerating about him. Let's take a look at how do you say her name? Bianca Blair. That looks a lot. That definitely looks right. And as you can see, look at the hair physics. Okay, let's take a look at I usually look at the face, and then I look at the body. The face definitely looks good. Looks just like her. I mean, this is a very good portrayal of her. Sometimes with the women's chest, they just didn't do a lot sometimes, which it's not an issue, you know. But that's a very good portrayal of her. I'm going to show you Nikki Bella because she looks, or is it Brie Bella? One of them. I think it's Brie Bella. She looks bad on here. I mean, to me, it just looks very... See, you look at that right there. Obviously, that's a nice picture. She looks perfectly fine on the render, but when you look at the wrestler herself, she just looks messed up. There's something wrong with everything, man. I mean, I get it on the face. It looks enough like her, but that hair, I don't know why they made her hair like that. Maybe her hair was like that at one time. I really don't know. But I think it should match the render because that hairstyle doesn't look right. Those arms, the way that body looks, it just looks messed up. I noticed this game, the women's shoulders don't look right sometimes. Like, it seems like their shoulders are far apart. Like Stephanie McMahon, in real life, her shoulders are more narrow, but on this, they're like really wide. They might even be worse than this character here. This this Brie Bella. To me, this doesn't look good. I mean, I think the hair should look different. That's the main thing. Let's take a look at the face. And with these WWE games, there's always at least like a couple superstars where it kind of looks like they just rushed them in. I'm pretty sure that face scan is really her, but the hair and the body just don't look right. It just doesn't look like it's cutting it. I mean, I'm definitely not. That's not it. For me, for my opinion, that's not a very good version of Brie Bella. I mean, it just looks kind of bad. I'm just being honest. So you're going to have some wrestlers that look right and some just aren't going to look right at all. Now, Brie Bella was not in 2K22, so there's no cut and paste. Here you got Bret Hart. Let's take a look at Bret Hart here. He was in the other one. A lot of the people that were in the other one, they're legends. They're probably going to look identical to 2K22. As they should, because, but that's definitely a very good portrayal of Bret the Hitman Hart. The body, the face, everything looks right on par. So that works. That's probably close to perfect right there, if it's not perfect. Let's take a look at Batista. And again, I'm obviously not going to look at everybody because, the time, how long that would take. This looks very good, but I mean, it's close, yeah, that looks right. I feel like something on his face is just a pinch off. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, I don't know, but it definitely works. If it's not quite there, it's definitely more than close enough. But I do feel like something is just slightly off. I can't put my finger on it. But if they're scanning faces, I think maybe the head shape may be a little bit too small or too round or something. I don't know. But something is like a pinch off. Not by much. It definitely looks good. The Brie Bella doesn't really look right to me at all. I mean, it just doesn't look good from my opinion. Who else should we look at? Let's take a look at somebody else here. China, pretty much. Let's look at Cody Rhodes. China's a cut and paste from last year, I'm pretty sure. There you got your Cody Rhodes. They made a big deal about him coming in. I mean, he won the Rumble. Did he win the Rumble? I think he did, yeah. He won the Royal Rumble. And I know in WWE 2K22, there was a lot of people creating him for the community creations. You could definitely see the similarity that he has with his father, Dusty Rhodes, but, he looks right on par. I mean, this is close to perfect. Some of them are going to be close to perfect. Some of them are just going to look kind of bad. I noticed the ones that seem less detailistic and not so great, a lot of the females seem less detailistic. They don't seem as really on par as the males. The Bianca Belair looks very good, though. I will tell you that. That looks just like her. Obviously, I already talked about Brie Bella. That's just not working. I think they got to do a little better than that. Let's take a look at somebody else. I kind of want to look at somebody that's either changed from last year or just not in it, or just wasn't in it last year. Let's take a look at this Edge with this haircut. I didn't even know his hair was like this. Okay, this is an updated version, as you can see. Yeah, this is definitely a very good portrayal of Edge. The face, yeah, his face does look like that. He's got that look where his eyes seem like they're a little bit higher on his head. This is a perfect Edge right here, man. I mean, that is it right there. They nailed this one. The body too. Edge is slightly, maybe the abs are a pinch exaggerated. I might be wrong about that. I haven't really looked at Edge lately, but this guy has like a 10-pack. I don't know if Edge really looks like that right now. He very well might, but it looks to me like he's a pinch exaggerated. Which, if you exaggerate a pinch, that's not going to cause any problems at all. Stone Cold Steve Austin, let's go to him. He's always just a little bit overly muscular. Now, I'm not really criticizing it because Stone Cold Steve Austin does have a muscle build. He is muscular, but it doesn't, not like on here. I mean, they just really got him looking very, very. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin, at his peak, he had a muscular build, but this guy's kind of jacked. I mean, this really stands out. His muscularity didn't really jump out at you. It didn't stand out too much, but he was definitely muscular. But I just think this is a little bit past what he was. Because when you use him in this game, those muscles are always there. And it just makes it not look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just because of that. I think they should have went the faces like 100%. And the faces, if they're scanning the faces, there's no reason why they should be off. I mean, if you scan the real face and put it in, it should be completely accurate. Obviously, they can't scan the body of somebody who's retired because their current body does not look like the way their body looked when they wrestled. So that might be one of the reasons why the legends are exaggerated, but that is definitely a little bit exaggerated. Again, it's not extreme. It's fine. I mean, it's worth using. I'll tell you that. It ain't like arcade type stuff like WWE All Stars or anything like that, but it's good. I mean, it works, but yeah, it's definitely slightly exaggerated for sure. No question about it. Who else should we look at? Now, Trish Stratus, for some reason, most of the time they got her looking kind of bad. Look, there's something going on with these bodies. It has to do with the shoulders and like how far the shoulder. Like I think this body here looks very close to the Stephanie McMahon body, where the shoulders are just a little bit too far apart. Something about the hair is not quite working. I think the hair texture. If there's something they can work on with the physical, with the appearances, it's the hair texture. I think that could use a little bit more work. I would never rant about it, or I don't think it's just messed up. It doesn't break the game, but I think they can do. The hair texture is kind of messing up some of the models. I think that face definitely looks like Trish Stratus for sure. That might be one of the better faces that they've had for her in this game. The body, I don't know about those arms and them shoulders. You know, something just seems like it's not right. You know, but but my biggest thing is that hair texture. It just doesn't look like real hair. It looks kind of plasticish. So that's, they can work on that. That's the one thing I would say. If they want these wrestlers to take it to another level as far as realisticness, the hair texture would be good to do. Let's take a look at Carmella. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, her face looks real. I mean, it looks very detailed, I suppose. You know, it looks enough like her. Definitely. I mean, it works. I don't really have anything to complain about on that look. But let's take a look at some other wrestlers. Let's take a look at Booker. Again, they're probably the same. Yeah, that is like right on, man. That's like a perfect Booker T. And it doesn't look like his muscles are exaggerated really at all, because obviously he's not overly jacked. He has some muscle tone there, you know. But the funny thing is, I think he may have been more muscular than Stone Cold Steve Austin in real life. But in this game, it looks like Stone Cold is more muscular than him. But as you can see, that face is like 100%. But like I said, if they're scanning faces, why would you be? Why would it be wrong? But yeah, that's like right on. That's like perfect. Everything looks 100% perfect with Booker T. That might be one of the best models they have in this game as far as like accuracy, as far as looking like the real guy. Now again, the legends, I think they're gonna have a little bit more of a hard time because you can't really scan the body. I think they're scanning current wrestlers' bodies and scan. I don't know that for sure. Obviously, they're scanning the faces. I mean, we already know that. The bodies, I'm not quite sure on that, but I think they might be. Doink, it's hard for me to say if he's like What can you take any of that off? Because I know in this Hulk Hogan, you can't even take the bandana off his head in this. Like you couldn't do it 2K22 either, which you should be able to, but you just can't. They just don't let you do it. You got the old Brock as well as the new one. This is a 2001 Brock Lesnar. As you can see, this is like not too long after college, I guess. He doesn't have quite all the tattoos. The one on the stomach, the sword, that isn't there yet. Now let's take a look at the newer Brock. Yeah, that's a good portrayal of him. I think his skin tone is a little bit more reddish, more so than this, or a little bit more pale red like, but not really pale, but like a little bit more of a red tint to it. But the face definitely works, you know. And I feel like his facial hair is a little bit more of a reddish orange color too. Maybe I'm wrong. I know I mean he's definitely blonde hair, when he was younger or whatever, but I don't know. I definitely, if anything, the skin tone. I didn't realize they had two Eddie Guerreros in here. They have Eddie Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero 97. So I guess this would probably be the Eddie Guerrero that was, closer to when he was, left the WWE, when he probably passed away in '05, perhaps. But here's the older Eddie Guerrero. Looks just like him. And obviously, they're not going to do any current face scans on wrestlers that aren't here anymore. So, they're still doing they still did a really good job with him. Yeah, they did an excellent job with Eddie Guerrero. That just looks just like him. I mean, Eddie Guerrero is one of those wrestlers that had like a really good, like wrestling personality. Yeah, without a new updated face scan, that's a really good job of Eddie Guerrero. I'm not sure what they do when they don't scan the faces, like when you have legends that they can't possibly scan, and even if you had a legend that was very much elderly that was still alive, face scanning might not work because of the simple fact that they just look a lot older now. As you can see, that is Hogan's build, like the way his body's shaped. Yeah, that definitely looks like Hulk Hogan's build. This is close to perfect. I would say, they don't have the older '80s Hogan on here. I thought they did though. I thought saw where they did, but I don't see it. Okay, on here. So let's take a look. You cannot take that bandana off his head. Oh wait, yes you can. No, you can't. You can't take it off. You can't take it off. You can just look at it, but you can't delete it. I think they should just let you take it off because he took it. It came off in some of his matches, but they just make you leave it on for the whole time. Let's take a look at this. I think they may have changed something here. I might be wrong. This Hogan is close to perfect. I will say that. I mean, it's a very good Hogan. And the other Hulk Hogan, this is that same one with just the other attire. That's the only difference. Let's see who else we should look at here. Let's touch bases on some of these characters. Let's take a look at the Goldberg. This is the current Goldberg from what I understand. Yeah, this is definitely the old man Goldberg. Now, Goldberg currently, his muscle tone is a little bit, it's pushed back. It doesn't quite look like this. Not quite. This is fine, but this body looks more like the older Goldberg. Right now, his muscle tone is not quite, not quite like this, like it used to be, but he's still a muscular guy. He's still jacked enough. As you can see the aging in his face. This is an excellent portrayal of Goldberg, the head. And as you can see, when people bald out, they end up with like marks on their heads. Trust me, I know from personal experience, but yeah, this looks excellent. I mean, this is like close to perfect. And I don't have an issue with them giving him that body. I think it's fine. I don't think they got too crazy with it. They didn't get carried away with it. I mean, they just exaggerated his muscles a pinch. They didn't, as long as you don't take somebody who has no muscles and just make him completely ripped. They don't do that in here. I mean, they just make okay. I'm not really familiar with this wrestler. I'm just like I said. I'm not really paying attention to WWE talent. Really, I just pay attention to the games. So I know nothing about this wrestler. I know she was a DLC add-on to 2K22. I want to look at somebody who is not in 2K22. I don't think she. No, I think she is in it. I think she was a DLC. Yeah, she was. She got added to 2K22 as a deal. She was one of the DLC add-ons. Let's see, how many Undertakers do you have? You have the 98 one, and probably, I guess. I don't think that was the current one unless he grew his hair back. You still have two versions of X-Pac on here. Let's take a quick look at the Shawn Michaels, the old one and the new one. Yeah, that definitely looks right. It looks like they didn't go too crazy with the body. Like, some of them are overly muscular. I would say this is not. Now, this is him currently. I think his muscle tone is pushed back a little bit, but what they might have done is they might have just used the same body scan from the old one. Or not body scan, obviously. You're not going to scan a past version of somebody, but this is close to perfect here, I would say. This Shawn Michaels is close to perfect. Let's take a look at the I think it's, what is it, 97 or something like that? Let's see which one they have on here. No, 2005, okay. You have a 2005 Shawn Michaels. Now that muscularity might be a pinch. He definitely had some good abs and stuff like that, but this might be this is kind of pushing it a little bit. But he looked like that for sure. But here you have your 2005 Shawn Michaels. Face obviously looks right as it should. They may have scanned the current one and just edited the face to make him look younger, is what they may have done, but this is a good portrayal of Shawn Michaels for sure. That definitely works. Let's look at a couple more before we call it a video. I don't know who this is. It's some type of manager. Do they have MVP on here? As a manager? They might not even. They might have just. I don't think so. Looks like he's not in it. But I know he's like a ringside type person. And I'm not too familiar with some of these wrestlers, but I'm gonna look at this character here. Maybe this is an NXT wrestler. I really don't know. Don't know who that is. He looks like the render though, so I'll go ahead and give it to him. Whoever that may be. Braun Strowman. Is Braun Strowman back? I think he might be back. I'm not sure. We got Charlotte Flair. Is Ric Flair in this? I don't remember seeing Ric Flair on here. Looks like he's. You got Rick Root. Well, I look forward to the Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner. It's a really old version of the Steiner brothers. It's not the Big Papa Pump version. Looks like Ric Flair got left out of this one. He might be a DLC. I don't know, but it looks like he's just not in it. They still put Shane McMahon on here. Who is that? Shanky? I'm not sure who that is. He's a super heavyweight? Who is this? Again, like I said, I don't really watch WWE at all, so obviously I'm not gonna, let's look at Stephanie McMahon. This is what I was talking about earlier. They do something funny with the shoulders in this game. It's like the shoulders are like a little bit too far apart on some of the women. That definitely is a good enough portrayal of Stephanie McMahon. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's good enough. It's edit attributes payback for existing superstars. You are not able to edit this. Okay, well why well why is that even on here? You should just take that off the list, right? So you have two versions of Stephanie McMahon on here. You have a manager and a wrestler. Anyway, that's gonna be this video. I'm not gonna look at any more right now. The video's obviously been very long, but that's the likeness video. I'm definitely gonna be doing more of these because, especially for the DLC, I'm gonna do full likeness videos when the DLCs come out, just to take a look at the see what they look like, check the accuracy of what we have there.